So I'm going to continue. All right. So to continue this on, we have this here. I'm going to do the same thing, go to UV. So remember, just go to UV or faces, and that's how you get control of that. So let me see where everything else is. So I'll just highlight. We see all that's there. So I'll just take these and I'll move them like this. I could even do this. I'll just put them right here. And the reason I'm putting this here, because I always like to check and see if it's like inside of another, if it's going into another tile. So I'll just select them all, artist scale, and gently scale down. I just give it a little slight tap until it's in there. Perfect. Now the different thing I'm gonna do this time is make a curve. And I'm just gonna do it off of this shape right here. I'll do a Control D, move this out, and I guess I could keep these. All right, I'm gonna do this two different ways. I could like just kind of take this right here and move this right here, and then take this edge and move this. Or I could like delete it, or kind of just make myself a curb like this. So I could do this. Or I could just end up just, deleting these. That might even be a little better. So the reason I'm doing it like this is so I can keep the edge bevel without like altering it too much. Yeah. Oh, and also the other thing, because they all kind of have like a similar kind of dip in them. As you can see, like right here, it like dips a little bit, and this one dips a little bit. So in another world, I would, another world. It'll be okay for this, but I guess in other projects, you might want to switch this up or like rotate them or something like that. With this, I'll just keep it like it is. So I have my curve right here. And for this one, I'll put it right here. So let's see where it's at. So it has the same UVs as the other one just because I altered it. So these UVs are the same as the sidewalk. So we just need to go over here and do an automatic just to get it back to this. We're gonna do the same as before. I'm gonna check the top part out. But these came out kind of strange because the top is right there. Why would it do that? Well, I'm gonna try something really quick. I'll just scale these a little bit. I'll do a UV automatic, another one. That's strange. This comes out like this, and then these are here too. So, okay, so check this out. In a situation like this, see how they're kind of scattered? One thing we can do is we can choose all these big faces. Oh, let me let Peyton in. Choose all these big faces, and I can do Shift greater than to get the next selection. And what I'm going to do is, since I have all these faces on the top selected, I'm going to go to UV planner because it's like at the Y plane, and I'm just going to go to Y. So it's going to grab all these top faces right here. So if I go to apply, what it's done, it's grabbed Control Z. grab. Am I tripping? Even if I press W. All right, there we go. Smooth. And then if I click on these, look what it's already got the front faces. So let's send these to heaven. And what's this? Those are the back. So these are the sides. Well, I guess these right here are the sides. So we should be able to scale those at the same time. So I'll just put it on this, scale these out. Okay, so those are square and those are square. So these are really good. So they're in like ultra heaven. All right. This right here, we click on this and let's look at this. I'm gonna press F to focus, zoom in, and I will now, scale these until these are square. So first let's make them square. All right, that's good. Are they about the same size as these? I think so. So that's the front, and then this is the top, right? So these are stretched, but because these are already square right here, then this really should just be the same length as this. So I don't know if y'all are noticing, but if one thing is like the right measurement, it's squared and it's already scaled out, you can kind of take the other parts and like just scale them to the same size. So J, I'll push this here. Where is it? R for scale. And I'll just scale these until these are square. But it should just really just be the same length as this. So I should just be able to scale this out. So this is the front of the curve and put it right here. Yeah, see how they all match? So these are the ends and these are the top. So what I should do is just grab all of these, scale these, just like this. I'll put it right here. Make sure they're within the bounds. I could scale it up a little bit. See how there's a little bit of space right there? You just want to try to use as much space as you can. So scale up. For the largest piece, that's how you like measure it. Cool, it's in there, all right? Grab the pieces from hell, drag them up. R to scale. And as long as they're in one tile, it doesn't matter if like they're all in this one, this one, this one. I mean, I guess it's good to keep organized, but it's not that bad if they're missing. Now, if I wanted to be really professional about it, I only really UV'd. Let me isolate it. So I'll click on this right. Whoa. Click, put it in object mode, click on this. Click on this. So because I'm only going to see these, I only UV these. But if I wanted to be really professional about it or efficient, I would have also, well, I might as well do that, right? I'm going to just do that. I'm going to UV the back face too. So this face right here. And I'll show you why I'm going to do that. And same thing, because this is the back and that's the front. If I scale to the right and I put this here, it should be about the same size. I just got to make these square. So it's square and I'll scale it down. I'm going to show you why I did it like this. Okay, so we have the front, the back, the top, and the sides. All right. And these are like high up there. So I'll take off the isolate select. So the reason I did that is this reason, right? So I have these here. If we select everything, all right, we can see all these rows. So this is, if I wanted to be clean about it, I guess I could just take them down here. So that's there. Now, the whole reason I did that is this. I can select this, and this is what I meant for the sidewalk pieces. I can do Control D, and I can move this over, right? But because this kind of has the similar dip right here, it's dipping down. Because I UV the back, I can just do this. Hold down J. So now this has, I mean, it's a slight difference, but it'll give variation or randomness, which is, you know, always good for 3D. So instead of it being like a direct copy, it kind of switched up. Like it's not like that dip that's right there isn't right there. It's actually on the other side. So it looks like it's a completely different piece, right? And so just to save time, I'll click on this one, Control D, and I'll just move it over. Because it can be really easy or obvious to tell like when somebody's copied or duplicating an object in 3D. So I just think the randomness is good. It'd have been real cool if I'd have done it to this, so then these sidewalks would have been like really random, but it's afterthought. Okay, so now that those are there, I'll take this and yeah, I'll just take these and kind of move them down. So this one, well, I think I could select, I'll just select this. Well, I'll select the UVs, let's say, just move it over to the right. So we have this one there. So 1, 2, I'll do the same thing. 1, 2, 3 on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And I could also, I think, take all of these. Let me see if this will work. Okay, cool. I just moved them all just to like, you know, match this. I guess I could even do this. So now it's like really kind of like cleaner. It won't really matter in the end, but just saying. All right, so I have all these. I'll select this, assign new material. Where is it at? Arnold, AI standard surface. Right click, material attributes. It goes straight here. And I should do wall. G to repeat. Oh, I didn't do that. All right, so assign new material. Arnold, standard surface, street. And I'll select these. Right click, assign new material. Arnold, standard surface, curbs, and assign new material. Arnold, standard surface, sidewalk. Now, what I'm going to do a little bit different is this. I'm going to add some cameras. So I'm going to go back to this modeling standard, and I'm going to go in this view, and I'll put, well, actually, let me just make my camera. I'll just go to view, create camera from view. So it's right here. So I'll just name this cam street, cam 01, all right? I'll select this right here to make sure I'm inside of the camera. And you see it says street cam 01 right here. And I'll also go over to this right here, which is a film. Wait, make sure. Film gate, I think. And I'll just kind of put it right here. Perfect. So this is my first camera. I'm going to do a Control D on this camera right here. So it says Street Cam 02. I'm going to select this. And I'll do like a top kind of view. So that's Street Cam 1. Oh, and you want to see it, what it is? So this is 01. Oh, I think I moved wrong. Street Camo 2. Okay, it kind of like gave it a different name, or I just got the names mixed up. But that's how you do it. Now do another one. Control D. So there's this third one. I'll select this right here. So this means I'm in the first one. I'll select this, or we can do this. I can select the camera and go to panels, and I can go look through selected. So now I'm in Street Camo 3, and I'll make this one, you know, my straightforward kind of camera. Cool. Now I'll do, since I have all these, right now I'll go to my perspective. So I have my 3 cameras, as you can see right here, and these will go into Substance 2, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select everything. I'm gonna go to File, Export, Export Selection, and then I'll go to my desktop, and then I'll just name it Street to Sub. That's how I used to do like these video game levels. I just whenever I took something out of Maya, I'd just name it that. But you can name it whatever you want. Okay, so I have it in Maya. I'm going to now go to Substance. So now I'm in Substance. I'm going to go to File, New, Select, Desktop, Street to Sub. There goes my thing. Okay, it's in here now, right? And we see everything. We have a street, wall, sidewalk. If I go to my 3D, 2D, we can see what's going on. There's our wall right there. There's a street. And you see the tiles all have a name or number, and that's, where they're signed. So it doesn't really matter. Like I could have them scattered all over here, but I guess you want to be clean, but I guess depending on what you're doing, that doesn't matter so much. All right, so let me do 3D. I'm sorry, 3D only. So I'm gonna do this really quick. I'll go to my sidewalk. So this is for you, Jade. All right, go to concrete. So I have a concrete over this. Now, if I want to make dirt, I'll go over here and I'll get what do you call it? I'll do a fill layer, and I'll just make this red just so you can see. And then I'll right click, and then I'll add a black mask. Now, what was the difference? Okay, so I'm painting on this now. What did I do? Well, what's the difference between what you did? It's add paint. Now I'm revealing that mask. So I'm not sure what was going on with yours that was different than mine. Because it's on one. Oh, hardness isn't even on. So I'm really not sure.
It looks like you only have one fill layer, but like I have two or something. Like there's two little boxes, like one is red, one is black.
So I have this one, which is the red, and this
Right.
one,
But
which
like
is
yours just shows like the little paint bucket, but mine shows like the color. I don't know why it's different in that way.
maybe because what I thought you did was put a fill layer down. I mean, not a fill layer, a paint layer, which is not a fill layer. So you have to paint to actually see what you're doing on the paint layer. But this one, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm just not really sure exactly why they didn't work. But I guess the what I'm doing here is I do the fill layer. I go in, I get the black mask, and then I can just right click and I'll do add paint. And then when I'm on add paint, I'll go over here to a brush, let's say, and let's just say this dirt. I'll go and I'll take this and then I'll kind of add my dirt like this. All right. So that's the way you would like paint and add dirt. And of course, you can always go back to this and change the color to whatever you want it to be. I just keep it red just for visual purposes. Um, so I'm not exactly
I
sure.
guess what was kind of throwing me off was there's actually this thing under smart masks, I think, and it's called like dirt or something.
You
There's like
mean,
different types.
oh, you mean under the smart mask?
Yeah,
Oh,
under smart masks. I used that on the street and it worked, but it didn't work on the sidewalk. And I don't really know how to use uh these.
okay. So the smart mask, I'll turn off this. So I'll just turn off my red paint layer and I'll do this one. So I'll click on this and I'll call it blue, just to keep things normal. And I'll put it on blue, right? So this is my blue. Now, if I want to use one of these smart masks, like let's say there's dirt dusty, right? I'll just take this and I'll drag it onto this fill layer and let go, and it puts the mask kind of there for me. So let's go here and move this around. Why am I not seeing nothing? This is the blue, the mask editor. False. Okay. So there's this global invert. So, hmm, why isn't this moving? That's odd. Uh, why would that happen? Huh, I'm not sure. Let me try this. I'm gonna do remove mask. I'm gonna do add a black mask. So we see that's working. And then let me try to do this dirt. Oh no, it did work. Okay. So, I'm not seeing the effect that I want though. It's there, but it's not. Oh, okay. This is where I messed up. Okay. I didn't do something. I didn't do this. Go to texture set settings because it works off of the baking of the textures. So if I go to bake mesh maps and then I'll do 2048, bake selected textures. So it's gonna bake all of these. Now it'll work. That was the reason. It needs to do this to find the position of the objects, know where Y is and Z and every other control, so that it can figure out the position, like what's closest to the wall, what's close to the curb, if there's two surfaces that are close to each other, to get like this kind of you kind of see it on the corner right here, this ambient occlusion effect. So that's why it wasn't working correctly.
I guess that also kind of explains why I was only working on the street too for me.
Ah,
But
okay. Yeah, and when you do it, well, I guess this gets all of them because sometimes it would be like what you call it. They'll have a certain ones you can pick. So sometimes I used to do it just one layer and not the rest of them, but that's why they didn't work. So if I go back here, let me just do this. I'll actually get out of that. I'll take this and I'll remove this mask. So I'll do it again. Well, actually, I'll just keep it blue and then I'll just drag what I do, dirt dusty. I'll just drag it on here. So, okay, see how it works automatically? Now I can go to the mask editor and take this and adjust it like this. All right. So just go through with the sliders, move it back and forth, and you can find out this history. So it's like, all right, is this like a little bit of dirt or has this been dirty for a long time? So yeah, we'll go through, we can do this. And if you go to false or true, maybe that's not the one. You kind of invert it. So yeah. So we can do that. And then if we want to add paint, we can just right click on the mask, go to add paint. And now I have this with this paintbrush, right? And then I can go in and add more. So just let me make this kind of dirty real quick, very quickly. All right, I have this. I'll go back to my color and then I'll make it like a real dirt kind of color, you know? And one thing I like to do is I'll take it to this color right here. And then you can also right click on this and you can go to duplicate layers. And so I have a copy of this now. And I can just click on this and I can go to my paint and I can like add on to it. But I also like to go here and I'll change the color. I'll make it like a little bit lighter, let's say. And I can take this mask editor and I don't know, maybe change the position around and the history and things like that. And so now I have another color and I can also go in here and kind of mess with the contrast. So I mean not the contrast, the opacity. So now I have kind of two different types of dirt over one. Like I said, I'm doing this like kind of fast, so it's not going to look the prettiest, but I think you all get the point. All right. So we have this, and I'll just add some textures really quick to these other parts just to get them out of the way. So let me type in concrete. Let me go to my texture set. That's sidewalk. I'll go to curbs. Yeah, I'll just go to this. Actually, let me go to layers. I'll just drag this in. All right, so there's my concrete. And then I can also do this too. I can also go to, so that's my concrete. I can go back to my sidewalk layer and I can grab this. I have to grab the first one, right click and say copy layers, go into my curbs, go into here, right click on this and say paste layers. So now I have a dirt, the same kind of one with the same color, but now over here. And I can go in and, switch this up and mess with how this looks as well. Change the color, you know, do all that. See how quick that is? Man, if we were in Photoshop, it'd be hell. All right, so go to this. Let me go to street, add this sand real fast. Uh, Change it, make it more asphalt-like, I guess. All right, cool. I just want to show you all the rendering, so I'm not even gonna try to make this too pretty. And the wall, let me see. Um, I type in concrete. Oh, yeah, I'll just do this mortar wall. How about that? Let me go to the layer, put it here. All right, cool. Let me go to this scale a little bit. Don't like the color so much. Just because I don't really like the look of this, I'll take another texture and I'll just put this over it. Maybe even like mess with the opacity a little bit. Okay. All right. So we have this in here right now, right? Now, right now we have default cameras, but remember we selected everything, including those cameras. So I have my this cam right here that I set up in Maya. And then if you want to get out of it, you just move it. But if you want to get in there, just press this. So we have all our cameras in here. Now, let's say we want to render this. We can go into this, it's specific renderer called Iray. So I click on this And depending on how your computer is, it might take a while to get here. It might be quick. I don't know. But this right here is the renderer within a substance called Iray. Now, if I do shift right click, it rotates. I mean, I can rotate like my HDRI, which actually is right here, environment rotation. And so this is at 0, and I think this is should be 360. Yep, because 360 degrees. But here's something that I like to do because this works slower to rotate it here. If you click on this again, so we go back to substance, Iray, substance. You get what I'm saying? So this is the regular one. What I like to do instead of rotating it there is I hold down shift right click here, because if I'm in this view, it kind of like works faster. You know what I'm saying? And if we want to see our HDRI, we just have to go to window. No, wait. Let me see. Um, it's the display settings. So window views, display settings. So this right here, if I turn on the opacity, if I turn it up, we get the full, you know, you start to see it's blurred out. Exposure, I mean, not exposure. We want to keep that at 1, I believe. 1. Did it not do it? 1, enter, and then we want to do the blur. That's what it is. So the blur is up high. That's why we can't see it. We turn it down. We see it here. So it's best to work on it here, or at least to get your lighting right, unless you have a computer that can handle it. But I still would say you take it in this view, hold down shift, and then you could also get like a new map. And I can show you how to put in different maps if you like, because I just switched my map now to something else different. Yeah, so now it's like this outdoor kind of area. I wonder where this is. All right, anyway, so I'm holding down shift, rotating, so I can get the light right here. To be honest, I want another one. Where's my window? I don't know where my window went. Oh, there it is. Kind of like hid behind my other windows. I don't want it there, so I'm just gonna grab it, turn it back into a regular window. Uh, I just thought about this too. Maybe it'd be cool to like just have whatever you're doing, like since this is like walls in the alleyway and it's kind of dirty wall, like maybe match your HDRI to that. I don't know. All right, so let's say I like this, right? I'm gonna go back into my Iray, and it's right here. Now, obviously, this ground right here is too far away from the bottom, and to alter that, well, this is what it's called. This is the dome type, right? So it's a sphere with the ground, HDRI with the ground plane. If I do infinite sphere, then it's just like sphere that's just like kind of yeah, basically sphere with no ground plane. If I go to sphere, I guess it's like the same thing, little difference, but sphere with ground is definitely different. Now, if I want to place this on the ground, really there's a ground plane. It's just low, and to get to it, we have to go to this right here, this Y. So you see how I'm going down negative? It's going down more, and then if I want it to be closer, get it over here. Whoa, now it's in there, right? So there's going to be a point where it gets like really sensitive and you're going to like go in between your object. And then at that point, you just got to go in here and type in the number. So right now it's at -3. If I do -1, that's too much. I mean, yeah, too much. Uh, -5. Okay. -6. So it's in between -6 and -5. So I'm going to do 6.5, -6.5, -6.25. So you kind of got to whittle it down to find that sweet spot. So it's not 2.5. Let's do -6.15. So I'm just going to basically try to figure out 1, 0. Let me do 0.5 then. 0.1. So now let me do let's do -5.6. So let's just say I'll just keep it here, right? As always, right now it's on the default camera. If I go to 1, I go to my camera that I set up in Maya. All right. So exposure controls how bright the lights are. And of course you can go overboard. But it's usually set to 1. Whoa, 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 whoa. 1. And that's what it is. Yeah, so let me go down this list. So there's exposure, makes it brighter, corresponds with your HDRI, your environment map. There's a rotation, which rotates it. Like I said, if you want it faster feedback, go to the other view. Radius is how large the sphere is, like how kind of far it goes back. You see how it's getting closer, kind of getting far away. Texture scale, texture of the HDRI. So you can adjust this as well. So I guess this and the radius can kind of work with each other. Now this is an important one, clear color, right? If I click on this, then it takes away that background, but it keeps the lighting, right? So that's kind of nice. It looks like a nice sunny day right here. And I can click on this and change the color. Which will matter because this color will bleed onto this object. So if I have something that's like bright green, you might not really be able to see it in this view, but trust me, that green's like hitting this and it's also affecting everything.